The good and bad and ugly. Crime in the media. The most important effects of criminal justice policy is that there's going to be crime, the type of people you know what the media relates to, and the crime to be justified by the social construction of its work, in which shows how the crime is named, how justice progress, the media and the media social constructions, what you may happen in the new modern time of media to come. What comes together in my media, crime, and justice book with serial killers, murders, my first choice was in my project to become so intruded in these types of murders. I chose one, the Grim Sleeper, known as Lonnie David Franklin Jr., being one of America's most serial killer and has responsible for at least 10 murders and one attempt murder in Los Angeles from the dates of 1985 to 2007. He also was convicted for rape and sexual violence. The Grim Sleeper earned his name when he appeared to have taken a 14-year-old girl and breaking news from his crimes dated from 1988 to 2002. In July of 2010, he first was arrested as just a suspect. Then, after many delays, he finally was tried in court in February of 2016, and on May 5th, 2016, the courts convicted him of killing 6 of the women and 1 of the teenage girls. Then the jury recommended the death penalty. And in August 2016, the Superior Court sentenced him to death for each 10 victims, and only one of those was on the verdict. In March 2020, Franklin was found dead in his cell at the San Quentin State Prison. Analyzing Lonnie David Franklin was not what he did or why, but his name was important percentage of it. What was important was where he did these murders in, mostly in the south side of California. And why? Prostitutes. When he was married to a lady named Sylvia Franklin and had a great job, showing me that his background was so-called great invisibly to the media. In the Media, Crime, and Criminal Justice book, tells the image, realities, and policies in this investigation, blurring out facts on the Grim Sleeper in which notification was made against him. Not until after many months later, even then, there was a type of a copycat. As an example, the Hillside Strangler. Then he was named the Southside Slayer, was also involved in the California. The Grim Sleeper and others, the advertisement of this type of serial killer could and did make movies about such criminals. The contents of the criminal's news reveals a distinct similarity which inverts images in his arrest. And further, in July 7, 2010, investigations, he was identified by the California District Attorney Office after receiving the interview one he attacked. She ID'd his demeanor and how he fooled many others. Example, he was black in the early 30s and looked neat, tidy, and kind of geeky. Always wearing black attire and driving a white van in the areas to capture those whom was slain. He again worked under a disguised job between 1981 and 1988 under a disguised job between a mechanic and in the LA Sanitation Department, and also worked with the LAPD. When arrested prior, the familiar DNA analysis in which at the time DNA importance was not sharing, showing a DNA match. not until an undercover police pretended to be a waiter and then gathered a piece of pizza which had his saliva on it, concluded the DNA match, meaning all those years missing the opportunity to catch the Mr. Franklin, the grim sleeper. The law of vultures passed in 2004, a Proposition 69 requirement from all felons or any other charges must be gathered in conclusion of any crime. In my conclusion of this crime, the grim sleeper was not so had aggressive behavior, but but that in the media, he established a logic that I believe holds true. If you do something, you like it, it's in yourself that's stimulating an effect of violence or not, but that it's a learned behavior accepting the violence media primitive. Rather, it is in the social to explore the mechanism through which they could cause aggression in that person. It is hard to measure the negativity effects of persons in real life. Mr. Franklin, the grim sleeper, just was sickly, violent, aggressive, and most of all, a danger to society, regardless of his own choice. So the grim sleeper died, so the grim sleeper did die, but never will he be forgotten because there will be another copycat one day. But I hope not, for the sake of the world's tendencies. I cite everything from some of my book and some of the Wikipedia articles, and this is my end of my assignment.